this is Dust.
Hi guys! As promised, it is, I don't even know what time it is.
It is 6:11.
6:11. We are a little late, but you know why? It's because we love Jesus and we pray. And we're having some music time. As you tune in, some of you guys are going to be Ethan's friends, Sierra's friends, my friends, but we're all friends here. And I am honored to have them. Best friends.
Best friend.
Well, hold on.
forever.
No, it's exactly the first time Ethan, he's like, what the heck is all of this? So Sierra is my best friend for eternity and beyond. And beyond. And beyond. Because we're going to be worshiping Jesus not only on this earth, but in heaven forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So having friends like that is what matters, and I just love them so much. I met Sierra about over 7 years ago. Yeah, a long time ago.
Forever.
Yeah, well,
I think it was 7 because of her.
yeah. I was like, so I met her aunt first, which I love, Terry Sanders. If you're out there, I love you, girl. 'Cause you're amazing. I just love your heart for Jesus, and I learned so much from you, and more than that, you gave me my best friend forever, for eternity and beyond. So, we just connected, and then I remember Justin preached one time, and we were just friends, you know, getting to know each other, and he goes, you know what? Your friend is not a real friend unless you go through crap together. And we both looked at each other and were like, we need to go through crap together. And we have definitely had our ups and downs. We've gotten mad at each other, but we've also stayed pretty honest. And so I've definitely valued her friendship. And this young man, I heard of.
Right.
I heard of, and I've seen him around. I think I met your dad before I met you. I didn't connect the dots right away.
Right, nobody does.
Yeah, but I met him through church too, and I've gotten to know him more, and it's been amazing to see him grow and love Jesus and just become who God created him to be. Like, and he worships Jesus with all his heart, and I think that's definitely a prayer that. Very energetic.
Absolutely.
He is moving almost all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, like
I'm burning calories right now.
yeah.
I'm surprised you're not going up and down.
Yes. Sitting down is a miracle. You are watching a miracle in the making.
It's true.
But Ethan is amazing, and I just love him so much because she loves you. No, I'm just kidding. No. I have personally grown to love you too.
Like, I love you, Barbie.
Yeah,
Come on now.
I know. So,
in the fire with you, so.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Ethan's just amazing. He's on the worship team at Summit. He's also served on life groups and with the student ministry at Summit.
Yeah.
So he's pretty.
Boys.
Eighth grade.
9th grade boys.
There
Ninth
you
grade.
I know what I'm talking
Well,
about.
the energy of 8th graders, but they're 9th graders. No, but I think it's amazing you're impacting the next generation, and Sierra too is very active and loves Jesus, loves the world. She has a missionary heart. Like, you've gone to so many places. Like, you've gone to Thailand, to Australia, to the other side of the world. She has gone around the world. She left me for those moments, and I literally, the moment she left, you remember how bad I cried?
Yeah,
Cried.
She sent me a video of her
I was like, I am so sad.
Like, does that mean I need to turn around?
She was this close. Yeah. So I really do love her, and just her heart for Jesus, and to just let people know about the love of God is so amazing. And I'm excited to have him here. I've had many singles on and married couples, but this is my first engaged couple.
What?
They are in the middle of planning a wedding.
Yeah.
Wait, we're doing that?
You're like, what?
What?
Yes.
I did do that.
And we're going to learn more about that in a little bit. So I'm glad that you guys are here tuning in. And I have a couple questions that you guys turned in. And I'm excited to have you guys get to know them a little bit more. And most of all, you guys minister to me. So anyways, let's get started. So how did you guys meet?
So we met through CR about 6 years ago. Almost as long as like I've known Barbie, which is crazy. And we met. So Celebrate Recovery. That's what CR is. It's a Friday night thing that they do up at our church. Summit. It's for
hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Basically, it's basically where people if they're going through some struggles and they need some help, it's a place you can go with a community that's there to love on you. And our job there was to watch the kids while their parents were upstairs doing their sessions. So.
I was his boss.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so with you guys meeting, what was the first thing you thought about each other?
I definitely
because this is your future spouse,
right?
So what did you think about her?
I saw this girl, and I'm watching her, with the kids, and I'm seeing how she's interacting and how she's going through the Bible. I'm like, this girl is awesome. This girl's gonna be my friend.
I'm about to say I'm married.
You are now.
No, I am now. No, then I was like, this girl's gonna be my best friend. I'm like, she was cool, man. We went out, we worked really hard. It was awesome because we get together at certain times. We'd have coffee. We talk about
the lesson plans.
Yeah,
and
we
he wasn't a very committed relationship though, and so for me, I guess my first impressions were like, oh, this kid's wild and crazy, but fun, and I'm so glad he's with me helping with these kids, because there'd be times when sometimes the kids would be acting up, and I'd be there going, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have Ethan, because he can handle these little crazy kids, especially the boys, because the boys would, I don't know, they respond to you better than they did with me. And,
I had what I called my big boy voice.
Big boy voice.
and I don't know, I think it made me excited to see you every time, just even with hanging out with the kids and stuff. And for me at the time, I was learning how to be friends with the guys around me from YouTube. Another guy I knew from CR before he showed up. I don't know, just learning to have friendships, because I grew up in youth group with a bunch of girls and even just close friends, and it was anytime you talk to a guy, it was oh, you like him, oh, there's interest there, or something, vice versa, and it's sometimes I just need a guy, a friend, and so I think from us it was a true blessing, because we learned how to be friends before we learned how to date.
That's awesome. So you guys have 6 years of knowing each other.
Yeah.
Before actually becoming anything,
but
friends.
But yeah, it was an on and off thing too.
I ran into her at a concert at one point. We were both showed up to Joshua Fest, and I was like, hey! So that was pretty cool.
So it was an on and off friendship of just randomly running into each other at church events or at youth group or at summer camp, and just I think just having that as a basis made it really, really easy to connect with them.
So you grew up in church and you were going through that. What about you? How were you when you met her? Spiritually, background, and relationship-wise?
So, spiritually, background, relationship-wise, those couple of years I was going through a really rough go when it came to family and everything. So, I was what you'd probably consider as a lukewarm Christian. I believed in God, I did love God, but He wasn't number one in my life. And I was still learning what it looked like to be a Christian, and through that I went through some times where I completely almost left the faith, and then I came back. I was back and forth on it before really settling down into my faith.
Thank you for being honest. A lot of people are like, no, I was going at church, I was alright.
I was alright.
I know. Well, let me tell you the truth, guys. This is what was going on. So you met 6 years ago. You went off around the world a bunch of times. Thailand, Kenya, Australia, and long period. She's not a 2-week person. Let me tell you that.
Right?
She's all let me go for months.
I started out going the 1 week mission trip to Kenya twice. Once with my mom, once by myself. And I remember going, this 1 week isn't enough for me. So going for 2 months to Thailand and then 4.5 months to Australia for other stuff. Even just talking to him about future plans, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go off on a 9-month, 1-year adventure. And he's excited. He's excited but terrified, because he's like, what did I get myself into? But also, wow, what did I get myself into?
He's one of those Quest 22s. I'm sitting there going, this is gonna be great, and then I'm like, what about everything? Oh my
yes.
gosh, but it's great.
It's all in faith. It'll all be okay, right, guys? I think so. I know so. So, how did you guys become like an item? Not an item, but like a couple.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you guys reconnect to the point where you continue to stay connected?
So, I
To
threw
almost being eternally connected.
a party at the house I was living
Okay.
at. So, I know, me and my...
You can give a shout out to them.
Yeah, so Josh, Jake, all those guys, all the brothers, the Shine House. What
Totally
up?
did that. I was like, give a shout out. You totally went out.
I
I was like,
did, yeah.
let's do this,
No,
guys.
I mean, we were at the
Yes,
Shines,
I
and
love
they
that.
they were so called to start with the young adults, and I was like, guys, let's start having, parties. Let's start having people over. So that's what we did. Me and Josh, we set up a thing. It was like, we invited everybody. And the problem with inviting everybody is
Everybody
sometimes
shows up.
everybody shows up. we didn't count on this. And all of a sudden, after the 25th person walked in the house, I'm looking at the Shines, and I'm like, sorry.
And I had just come back from Australia, and I was still trying to find a job. I was still working on things, and my sister was like, "Oh, come hang out with the young adults. You need like social time." And I was very in a weird spot, and so I showed up there, and I was like, "Oh, friends. Oh, I know you. And I'm like, "Oh, the Shines. Like I've known them since I was little. Like." And then, like, seeing him, I was like, "Oh, hey, buddy!"
Yeah, I was like, I hadn't seen her in like a year or so, and so it was kind of like, oh my gosh,
Anything he knew
yeah.
of me was on probably Instagram. With
Yeah,
all my
I
travel
was
pictures.
a little bit of a stalker on Instagram.
Oh, he scrolled.
I was
You
I was
saw that
scrolling.
shit? He just let it go
I let it go.
for a couple of years. He seriously, he didn't do this. He did this. He's like, let's just go all the way down.
All the way down.
Okay.
But yeah, we just grew and connected that way, and then ended up, he started. Well, I started texting him.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
She
girl.
she hit me up on the phone, and I was sitting there. And one of my friends brought up to the point was like, "Hey, she told me that if she texts you one time like that, that means that she's probably looking for something there." And I was like, "Definitely,
That's not
definitely."
Interested. She might be interested.
Interested.
Yeah, that's what words. Who uses them?
Don't.
Yeah, I do. Anyway, so I'm like, okay. So,
And I was just like, oh, I wanted to catch up. I wanted to like get to know how you were doing.
yeah.
She wanted to see if that boy was still there or if God had done something.
Right. I had a lot of growing up to do,
Yeah.
for sure. And, and so we started texting, and, I mean, we'd be texting till 3 a.m. in the morning about stuff we were learning in the Bible. I mean, stuff we were just, like, learning through the, I mean, straight up just, like,
And
paragraphs
on
of
my end
scriptures.
things, I wasn't in a place where I was looking for anybody or anything at all. I was sitting there literally with my hands open. Okay, God, where's the next mission? Where's the next thing? I was ready to take off in a heartbeat, like if God sent me, and I felt like I was getting nothing. I was doing work and everything, but I was just like, I'm not getting anything. I'm like, but I have great friends. I'm like, I'm texting a bunch of friends and people. I have a lot of women in my life. Like, I mean, you were like a part of that. Like, I felt like I was getting back into the swing of ministry, but I wasn't necessarily looking. So for all you single ladies out there, like, it's true when people say don't go looking for it because it finds you, and that's the thing too, is like friendships. Yeah, I don't know if we get into that.
Well,
No,
I mean,
I love it.
yeah.
Keep going.
First, when we started talking, I did not think anything of it the first time, because I was sitting there, I was like, oh, this girl definitely thinks of me as a friend. She would not ever consider dating me. Like, oh my gosh, I'm a quirky, crazy, wild kid, and she's a calm, collected individual.
Not all the time, but yeah.
Anyway, so it was kind of like we didn't really see it coming until all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, I'm totally down to make this happen."
I'm taking this opportunity. He said I'm going.
And it's
Say goodbye,
interesting too
babe.
because I was there going, oh, he's probably still in that like long. He was in a very like long committed relationship before, and I was like, oh, he's probably still in that. And when I found out he was single, I was like, oh, cool. But I was like, there's probably so many other people in the young adult group that like him, and like he's crazy, but he's also like a really cool like. I don't know. I saw a lot of potential in you, and I was like, and I don't know. I was just
So, how did you ask her out? What was your first date like?
So, I thought that our first date
I
was
thought.
not at before we
Right there,
asked her
look.
out.
You-
So
he thought something.
I thought.
Jay said.
Why?
I
thought.
Well, I texted. We were
When I saw
texting
the
her. She was
video show.
yeah. She was out in California, and I was like sitting there with a bunch of friends, and I just texted her. I was like, hey. You want to go see this movie with me? Because she was telling me how great this movie was, and I'm like, I'm not into musicals at all usually, and I really didn't like them. But she's like sitting there telling me like, this movie's so great.
It's
And I'm
so
like,
good.
And I'm like, dude, if it's worth being able to be with this girl, I'm like, I'm down to go see a musical. So I was like, I'm like, cool.
And,
So,
and of course,
I
I'm
didn't
over
know
here,
that.
like,
You already saw it.
I already saw the movie, but I was like, oh, we're just gonna go see it as friends, because of course, I'm not looking for anything at all. And so I'm sitting there with my sister, like getting ready to like go hang out with him. I was like, and then she's like, oh no. Well, she wasn't, oh no. She was,
Oh, no.
She was like, oh hey, I guess his brothers are texting me and saying how excited he is, and he's literally like pacing around the house, like nervous that he's taking you on a date. And I'm like, a what? And I was like, this is not a date. And I'm like,
Did you text him that? You're like, this is not.
No, I
no,
didn't
she
say-
did not say a word.
But he didn't say it was a date either. He was like, you want to
What?
hang out? You
Yeah.
want to see a movie? I'm the kind of girl, I told him this afterwards, like when we started
I found
dating,
out
I was
afterwards.
like, because, okay, so he ended up asking me out. We went for a car ride out to Moon Rocks.
So me,
And
what?
this is afterwards.
Yeah. So after that, we had a couple weeks where we were just like, flirting and that kind of stuff, kind of getting to know each other a little bit, seeing where.
Well, it was like a week after that, so don't
I don't know, it's not too long. Anyway.
For him, it was an eternity.
It was. I was waiting, man. Anyway, I was gonna do it like 5 days sooner, but anyway. But what happened?
Aw, Ethan.
Josh had his truck, and I had a little Pontiac Vibe, front wheel drive, 2-wheel drive car, right?
Okay.
And we went out to Moon Rocks, and it was just after it's rained, so
And everybody conveniently went in the other car and left me with this crazy
I
weirdo.
made that happen.
I told everyone to squeeze in a small car.
I did. I said flat
So
out.
I
I
could
was
just
like,
be with her.
you guys
Aw.
just,
Strategize, guys. Strategize.
I
Strategy
made
right
it
there.
happen, man.
And
Makes
then
So,
he
it
turns
happen.
to me and he's like, so what do you think about dating? And I'm like,
I didn't like. I was so I was like shaking while I'm
Aw.
driving.
and so
I'm
I
like,
sat there and the first thing I thought of was the movie, and I was like, did you think that movie was a date? And it went into this conversation
I said
about
yes,
what he thought,
by the
what
way.
he thought dates were and what I thought dates were. I'm sorry, ladies out there, I don't know if you agree with me, but when a guy asks you on a date, they say, hey, would you like to go on a date, not hang out? Because I hear hang out, I think, okay,
Friends.
you're a bro, you're a
Yeah.
You're a
homie.
post.
See, that's why she's my best friend forever and beyond. I'm like, we're
I'm
on
like,
the
you
same
gotta
page.
be straight up with me. Like, if you're
Yeah.
gonna ask me on a date, then say, hey, I want to go on a date with you.
Here, right here. I hang out with my brother. I go on dates with him. Right? That's just it, right?
As I get the point.
I
So
get it.
our
I
official,
learned.
so we decided that our official date after long hours of arguing about this. Oh not really, but it's like we did a lot of group hangouts and spontaneous let's go out and.
I'd show up with like 4 or 5
people.
people, and I'd suffer in the car with us, and we'd go out and have some adventure.
But our first
That's
official
awesome.
day, I think, was his birthday, and we went over and saw his mom.
Yeah, I took her and I introduced her to my mom. Number one, I was like, that was my goal. I was like, you gotta meet.
I
You
was
gotta meet
like,
with
wow, we're going straight into this.
Like he's playing around, and I think it's because he knows you.
Well, that was the
Right?
first thing, and actually the night that I asked her out, we full on said, like, we set these boundaries up too, But I said, I'm not looking for a relationship for relationship's sake. I said, I'm looking for a relationship to where I want to get married
Aw.
at some point. And I said, if you're not okay with that, we gotta figure this out, because that's.
You gotta figure
And
that
I
out.
was
It's gonna be
like,
like, dang.
and I'm sitting there going, really? Like,
sounds
we're
so
actually
nice.
having this conversation, and it blew my mind, and I think that was, the first sign to me that this is a godsend thing, because I never actually sat there and talked about boundaries right off the bat when a guy asked me out, and I think it set us up for a really good and healthy relationship, even though, yes, we have faltered, I think one of our boundaries that we had set was not staying out to like past 12 alone with each other. And there was a couple nights when we'd be out just chatting. Next thing you know, we'd be looking at the phone going, oh shoot, it's 1 o'clock. I need to get home. So we have faltered in that a few times. Like, we're not perfect.
But I mean, it was a good conversation to have, you know. And that was number one. It's like I wanted this relationship to start off right, and I wanted it to be God-centered, you know. I was like, I don't want a relationship to sit there and be like,
had you ever done that before in past relationships?
No.
Or you? No.
I tried, and guys suck. I'm sorry.
I think when the girl has to do it, it sucks, right?
Because then you feel like you're the one taking charge, and you're the one actually setting up that standard, and then the guy feels like either they rise to that standard, which you've been phenomenal at, like, or you just turn around and you stoop the girl lower to your standard through like manipulation and other things, and that's stuff that I've noticed in my relationship. Yeah. She lives over there in the window smiling. She's like,
"You're doing a great job. I'm watching you guys."
oh, thank you.
So what was the process of you being her formal boyfriend? Like, how did that look to be her
formal boyfriend? And I think that it was the number one step was the night that I asked her. You know, I was like, "What do you think about dating?" You know, and because I mean,
a week later, I let him talk to my dad after I thought about it first.
Yeah, I sat down with her dad.
Tell us about that.
Oh my gosh.
I love Perry.
I love Perry so much. First question he asked, I'm like sitting there going,
Be real honest.
wow, I thought we were going to work up to this. First question he asked, like, are you going to have sex with my daughter? And I'm like,
yes.
Tell the audience.
I said no. But
no.
Then I realized I said no, and I was like, wait a minute, that's a lie. I said, not outside the context of marriage, because yes, in marriage I am gonna want to have sex with your daughter. so being honest, but yeah. And he went over an expectation of what he expects out of a man that's dating his daughter, and I really appreciated that, man, because it gave me a level to rise up to. Because I mean, I thought, you know,
were you there, like the standards he gave? Were you
absolutely
at that
not? Absolutely not. I was, you know, because I always thought that I was like, I'm pretty good, you know, and then then he'd bring up something, and I was like, I've never thought about that, and he's like, well, I mean, you need to think about this. and it gave me something to rise to the occasion to, and I loved that. I mean, I love the challenge. I do. I love being challenged because it means just got to grow, and I love growing.
What a better person to be challenged by than the other man that loves her immensely.
And you know, and that's something
that's awesome.
I mean, guys, that's one thing I really want you to take away is that when you're dating someone, you're dating somebody's not only daughter, you're dating somebody's sister, you're dating somebody's future wife, whether it be yours or not. So you always take that with you. That's how you look after somebody that you're dating. It's that precious. That's somebody precious, and you gotta hold that in your heart.
Oh, that's awesome. Anyone crying? You're probably crying. I'm about to cry. So that's amazing. That's so cool. And so when did you ask her out formally, or become formal girlfriend?
That was
after
March 24th or something like that.
Oh, you're coming up on a year.
Yeah, we got a year this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, celebrate. I don't know what. Actually, I made a plan, but he doesn't.
I'm clueless at this point.
Yes. Okay. So, have you guys dealt with jealousy in your relationship?
For me, learning to trust a guy, because knowing him, like, he went through a very long relationship and committed, and longest relationship I've personally had has been 3 months, and then after the 3-month mark, I realized my infatuation stage of liking someone kind of ends, and I sit there and I go, could I marry this person? And if I think no, then I'm like, all right, they're out. Like, and usually I'm the one breaking up with the person I have been broken up with. But and for me, I had for those, like, I guess 3 years before I dated you and I was dating someone else, like I had a lot of very weird encounters with guys and stuff, and I realized slowly my trust level went from like up here to like, okay, I used to be very naive, and so I remember going into a relationship with him going like, going, I don't trust him 100%. And that's the reality. I was sitting there going, like, I didn't necessarily worry so much about him, but I worried more about the other girls or people coming into his life that would flirt with him and he would have no idea. Like,
I am so clueless. It is so true.
And so I would, like, I get a little bit of, like, jealousy there and stuff when, like, I'm standing there in a room with, like, a bunch of other young adults and, like, he's talking with, like, another girl. I'm standing there going, like, why are you talking to her? But not because, like, anything he's doing and all, but because I sat there and I didn't necessarily trust the people around him or trust him to go, oh, this person's flirting with me, I need to go away. And for me, that took some time and trust and realizing I'm like, that's not who he is.
I remember one time we were in a group, and I remember when I saw a look.
I didn't know I was giving him
Sierra look.
I saw a look, and I was like, anyway, I gotta go talk to somebody else. Into the conversation and moved on to
Just
my
out of nowhere, you're just like, I gotta go.
So,
What
I mean,
about you? Do you deal with jealousy? Have you dealt with it?
I honestly, not very much of it. I mean, there was a couple times where I was like, I would notice guys looking at her or whatnot, and I'd be like sitting there going,
and I was gonna go, like, what guy? I need to,
I'd sit there and be like, I would just keep looking. I just need to go give them a hug, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, but I mean, other than that, I really did not struggle all that much with that, because, you know, I came from the idea of a very committed relationship, and I was, when we're committed, you know, I was like, I'm trusting you with this part of your life, and I understand, you know, that you're gonna be straight up with me if you're struggling with, hey, there's this other person that I'm struggling with, you know, and you know, just being honest with somebody.
Yeah, and also part of it too, like, right off the bat, he was like, put your fingerprint in my phone, and I'm like, oh, wow,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
like, we're going straight to that kind of trust level too, because, like, there was, I think, a point. Can I share this? Like,
Yeah.
Well, can I say, warning, ladies, don't expect your man to do that. He's
No.
not there.
Yeah.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
their story. Don't put
This
these
is-
expectations
don't-
on him.
This is
is
something
not
that
a
I
cause.
made a decision.
Yeah.
I made this decision myself because it was something to where I personally knew some of the struggles that I had, and I also knew some of the struggles that she had, and I wanted to create an element of trust in between an area that I knew that probably, you know, a lot of people have struggled with, and for me, it kept me accountable too. You know, it's like, you know, you're sitting there, somebody texts you from long ago that, you know, you're like, oh, hey, old friend. It makes you really think about, should I be talking to this old friend? You know,
Yeah.
it makes you think about it, and so for me, it was really helpful.
every once in a while, I think the other day I saw a random, like, person's name on his phone. I was like, who's that? He's like, oh, that's my coworker. And I was like, okay, good. Because I was like, it's a girl name, and I need to know who. like, not that, like, I get, like, any sort of, I don't know, I want to, like, protect our relationship, and I necessarily, like, he didn't necessarily have to turn around and tell me that if he didn't trust me, but because we trust each other, and, like, he's very, very, very committed, like, and I adore that about him, and, like, and even at one point, I remember he was texting some of his friends, and he, like, I think he had me, like, read the text or something, and I opened it up, and I remember, like, a bad picture showed up from one of his buddies, and he, like, and I remember, like, standing there going, like, why do you have this on your phone? And he's like, oh, it's nothing, and, like, scrolled past it, and I was like, no, you, like, need to, like, delete that, like, it's not okay to me, and
She was very upset, and she had every right to be, because it was basically a pornographic image, and earlier that week or something, my friends I had an old friend send me a bunch of stuff, and all of a sudden I opened my phone up, I'm like, oh my god, and I shut it off, and because I just shut my phone off because I just didn't want to deal with it, you know, and that was
We've been open about that in our relationship too, like, talking about, like, our struggles in the past with, like porn and other stuff like that, like, we knew that
going
before this even happened, so even if something like that happens, like, communication is so important, even, like, because if you don't turn around and tell somebody, oh, hey, by the way, this bugs me, like, they're never gonna know. They don't, like, for us girls, like, just letting you know from a girl's perspective, guys don't necessarily understand and can read your mind even if you try to explain, sometimes you gotta explain 20 times, and you gotta learn to be kind of okay with that, because at least for me, I was like, why aren't you getting it? Why aren't you getting it? Or sometimes I'd be sitting there and like trying to non-verbally tell him, like, hey, I don't like this. And from like staring across him at the room, like, or something like this, and like non-verbally, like, I hate what you're doing right now, stop. But sometimes that doesn't necessarily
It doesn't always work. It doesn't.
But just being open, and like, and for him, like, he recognized that. And then I think a couple weeks later, I was like, can we go through your pictures and start deleting like old pictures? Because I know, like, for me, like, I had to delete like pictures of exes and stuff like that. For him, I don't know if that was the case, but like, I know every once in a while, like, I'll like scroll through his phone, and he doesn't ever like delete a picture, so he has like 2,000 pictures on his phone. Even just like random, like, blurry, like, they accidentally take a selfie pictures. Like,
It's like a steering wheel.
yeah, I'm like, why don't you delete that? So even just silly things like that that we sat there and just like laughed about, because I'm like, it's time to start clearing out your life of this stuff that doesn't even matter.
Aww.
And it saves his phone life too. Like,
Yeah, and I did. There has been a couple times where I had to go through my phone, and I was like, stuff that, you know, I had pictures and stuff that I was doing that I shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I had to go through my phone and just acknowledge, okay, yeah, this happened, yeah, this is a memory, but, you know, this is not me anymore, this is not part of my life, and I had to just get it out, because, I mean, you sit there and you look at that all the time, and you sit there and you look, man, look who I was, look who and, you know, it's no longer, yeah, it's not who I've become and who I am now, so it's really good, honestly, I think, to clear that out of your life.
Thank you for sharing your phone boundaries that you guys created.
I didn't even think about that until
It is.
now.
It's pretty much phone boundaries if you guys, like, they're healthy. They are healthy. You can do that. But could you guys share a couple of more boundaries you guys set during your dating? Well, during even right now, that you have to honor God, like to honor God in the midst of dating.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing we always set up was accountability from just peers and other people we trust, you know, people that are mentors, just people that we can talk to, and we set up that accountability because we want the people that we trust, the people that we look up to. We want to please them.
It even came down to like sometimes some of the people we even like are inviting to like our wedding and stuff are like, we trust these people, we love these people, we want them to be there, like, and it's like, I don't know, it's been cool. Just even you said something about like double dates like have become more fun to you because like we're actually we do things with a purpose and with like intentionality. I know that like I remember from Amber and Ray talking about being intentional with your relationships. I think that's kind of a part of our season now we're in, is being very intentional with what we're doing and where we're spending our time and how we're spending our time. I think another like boundary we've set too is with like our peers and like I think even I have a thought that just left my brain, but
it's okay.
Complete it, Ethan.
You're pretty.
Well, I mean, another
Oh, it was the physical boundary of so at the beginning of our relationship, so we have a lot of like girls in the house, and I remember we were sitting there and like learning for him it was learning what PDA looks like in a Christian relationship, and sometimes like for him his number one love language is like physical touch, so it's like we had to learn that boundary.
Touch me in.
Like you're touching me? Okay, great. But you know, I'm like a cloud just hung over me. But like, I don't know, just like, but we had to learn like what PDA is like with around family, what PDA is like with friends and stuff, and like and what like.
And how was that? Was that easy to navigate?
Not for me.
For me, I felt like it was easy, but it was hard for me to like get him to understand why.
Yeah, because I'm very much I'm a thinker. You know, I like to get the why. I want to get the underlying reason. I want to understand what everybody else is talking about. So whenever she'd say we can't do this, I'm like, okay, why? And she's like, there is no why. We don't do this. I don't know. Yeah. So I mean, it was for me. There was a lot of adjusting to. Wait, so you just make boundaries just to have boundaries, and I had to be okay with a lot of that. And then for me, it was a lot of times it was frustrating, you know, because I mean I'm sitting there like, I don't get it. Why does this matter so much?
Was this the first relationship you actually had boundaries in?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And it showed.
I mean, no, and the thing is like that was something I was completely honest with her up front too. Was when I asked her out, I said I wanted to let you know I've never had boundaries before. And then that was when we were talking. I was
in
like,
that car ride, like he was like, I don't have boundaries, so
one where he was shaking.
Tell me what boundaries you have in your relationships and what ones you want to keep. And I'm sitting there going, wait, really? Like,
yeah, no,
because
I
to know my boundaries and my level and standard too.
Yeah, because
really
and I wanted to get that out front because for me, I knew I struggled with that. I knew that it was something that was probably going to be a problem if I didn't address it.
Yeah.
So having it up front, having it out in the open was like, okay, now I know where she's looking, and I can look to achieve that. So that was really nice in the beginning. And yeah, physical touch is one of the hardest boundaries to go over because it's like, you're sitting there, when you love a person, you want to hold them, you want to kiss them, and it's hard to sit there and deny yourself that. But one thing that we've always discussed
to a certain extent.
Yeah. And
to a certain extent, not
yeah. But and one thing we discussed about our relationship was like, our relationship isn't about just touching each other because yes, passion is a good thing in a relationship. A passion is an amazing thing. It helps keep the relationship together. But intimacy is another very important part of the relationship. And we learned this early on. Was like we love to sit there and just talk for hours. Sometimes too much.
Sometimes too much to the point where we get way too serious, and then we all of a sudden start bickering, and then we're like, we should really stop now.
Just like
we need to
too
stop
much.
talking.
So,
too much.
Yeah, we're slowly. I think just learning in this season now, learning how to have joy.
Yeah, we're learning how to have fun with because it's like sometimes you get too serious and you're just like sitting there, you're talking, and the next thing you know, you're like, you got to make a joke somewhere. Come on, make her.
You're a joker though.
I am a joker.
You're just a natural joker.
I add it in
everywhere. So how do you guys deal with the temptation to sin? Even like idolizing your relationship, because that is a sin. People out there.
It is.
Idolizing your relationship and just being dependent on one person, that is a sin.
Yeah.
But also just other temptations to sin, whether it be sexually or just, how did you guys deal? She's really pretty.
I like that she's really pretty.
She's really
pretty. You get lost. I see. Okay, the other day, just a little quick, snippet. The other day, we were just, we did the video you guys saw, and the moment he saw Sierra, he forgot everything he had to say. I was all like, Ethan, you literally just got lost in her eyes. I saw it right now. I was like, just say 6 p.m. on Sunday, March 17th. And he's like, okay, I got it. And then he looked at her in the eyes and he goes, what am I supposed to say? It was so funny. I was like, oh. So yeah, how do you guys deal with the temptation to sin?
I think for us, it's been a lot of just setting up that expectation of, it's not all about physical stuff, like you said. I think for me, I'm like, I never want to turn around and push my other friends out of my relationship and focus so much on him. And so we've still kept it a thing to keep like group dates and stuff like that, but we do spend time by ourselves, and but I think too for me, it's like having separate things we do separately, separate ministry. Like he leads a Bible study, I lead a Bible study, and those are the nights we know we're not going to see each other, but we're okay with that because we know we're off doing what God has called us to do. And I think another part of it too, like I said before, not staying out super late. Like we've been really good at that now. Like
we were pretty good at it, but it was just like we realized that sometimes all of a sudden next thing you know it's 1 a.m. in the morning.
And I don't know, just learning that. And I think for us when it comes to, because sex is a very taboo, very hard to talk about topic in the church, and I think for us, like, to keep our purity, because we're trying to stay pure for marriage, and well, we are. Not trying, we are.
And we are succeeding.
And a part of that has been just keeping each other accountable and going like, hey, like tonight's like, let's not like get too physical with each other. Let's work on, just keeping those boundaries going. And And for him, one thing that he always talks to me about, and always talks to like a lot of other young couples about, is when you're both committed to that one goal and you stay committed to that one goal, when one person falls, the other person can catch him, and vice versa. But when one person is still sitting there on the bench going, I really could care less, it gets hard. And I know for me, like, that was a big struggle even going into our relationship with my relationship with Ethan, was I was like even my dad taught me all guys want are sex and like to be loved in that way, and I felt like sometimes I feel like sometimes I'm gonna end up being used instead of being loved and cherished. And I think for him, like, he showed me like beyond, like, it's for him, it's beyond that. It's like sitting and just having conversations when we could be sitting in the car making out and leading to more, you know, like and just honoring each other with that. And also, like, when you do like have times alone and like quality time, like to communicate and let each other know, hey, this is getting too much, hey, this is going too far, hey, like, this is a boundary we set and we're not going to pass this ever. And just like,
what is that boundary ever,
like,
for anyone wondering?
I mean, it sometimes it actually depends on the relationship, I think, because there are times where it might be harder for a person who's like sitting there making out, and all of a sudden, next thing I know, oh, hey, we went way too far. Or it could be like, hey,
someone's holding your hand and they're like, okay, this is too much. Like, yeah, for us, like, we do kiss, we do in the bow, like, we're not gonna sit here and say, no, like, never. What's here? Just you? Us? What? Huh? Yeah, like, I think, or I don't know, our boundary has been more of just like the physical, like, actual state of like
grabbing onto each other.
Like, that's good. Like, I think that, it's kind of hard to like put a needle on that, but that's been mainly where like our point is. It's like, even there's been times too where I'm like sitting there going, tonight's not a good night to like kiss you. I'm sorry, tonight's not a good night to kiss you.
Turned me down. I'm sitting there, I'm like, give me a kiss, and she's like,
no, not today. Especially when my love language is more quality time, and so I'm sitting there going, I need quality time right now. I don't need.
And you know, and girls, one thing I do want to recommend, if you really do want to just have quality time with your guys, go do something with them that they like, because that really does it makes the guy open up a whole lot more. Let me tell you, you go on if your guy likes to go hiking and you go hiking with him, you will be surprised how much he will talk and will not shut up. It is a miracle waiting to happen.
Aww,
I mean, that's something that she's done so many different times with me.
Like today, we're like, let's go just have a relaxing day, and I was like, how about we just go to Pyramid and just chill, and we'll take a laptop out there and watch a movie and just like hang out in the sun because it's a beautiful day, and just relax with each other, because we both realized last night we're super exhausted and just need like.
It's been a long week. It's been a week, man. Sometimes you get, there's weeks where you're emotionally drained. It's a good thing to do as a couple. I mean, especially when you're both as a couple feeling that way. It is very good to sit there and just like take that time.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's so good, and I know God's gonna honor this so much and just bless you guys so much. I'm so excited for you guys to say I do. I like to say I do. Right?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Right.
So do you guys have a love song? And if so, how did you come up with it? And if not, it's okay. Just let us know. No?
We were talking about that. We're like, what?
No, we gotta fix that one out.
We'll get one by the time our wedding comes.
Yeah, we gotta have it.
AKA, he's gonna write one.
Yay! Oh, hint, hint.
Just kidding. Just
Right, guys. Give him time. Give him. You're his friend. Give him a little alone time so he can write that song.
Or help me.
Help me. So, how did you propose?
Oh yeah. So, funny story. It's funny. It's exciting. It's hilarious. So here's what happened.
Yes,
Anyway,
go for it.
so I was like, I had finally made a decision. I went and I talked to her dad, took him out to coffee. I've taken her dad out to coffee a few times. I love just hanging out with the dad. And anyway, we went to coffee, and I told him, I was like, I'm in love with your daughter, and I want to marry her.
Aww.
And He told me. I was so excited, you know. I was like, okay, he's gonna like quiz me again. So I was like pumped because I'm like, I'm ready this time.
You're like, I'm so ready for this one.
And he shocked me. He goes, why are you asking me? I'm like,
wow.
What?
Yes.
I was not ready for that. But hey, it was awesome. It turned into a very good conversation because he's like, okay, this is what marriage looks like, dude. And I'm like, wow. So, and at that point, I was saving up for a ring, and I'd been saving up, you know, and I found one online, and I was like, okay, let's check this out. And I went to the store. Luckily, brought my homeboy Josh with me. He's my best man. Shout out to him. He was a saint because he dragged me out of that store.
He almost bought a very expensive ring
that she wouldn't have not liked. It was ugly.
Yeah, it was ugly.
And no, I had one picked out and it was really cheap, but I found out that it was just not really good. And the one that I was looking at was really expensive, and I could have gotten like a loan on it and all that, but my buddy, he was like dragging me out of the store. He's like, no,
we're leaving.
We're dude, come on. I was like, okay. So we went out, and I had to wait another month to save up because I was so ready. I was like excited, you know. And I waited another month. I saved up a little bit more, and I found something, you know, and I was like, she's gonna like this. And I went and I brought my best man, and then I brought her sister in when I paid for it for her approval, and you know, just and got it. It had to be specially made, of course. So I was expecting it to take like 2 weeks, and it came in a week early.
I remember that because you texted me. I was like, I thought it was next week. I'm ready. Let's do it.
And I literally,
like, oh,
somebody told me, it's like, once you get the ring in your hand, it changes. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be fine. You know, I got the ring in my hand. I'm driving back to work, right? And I get to work. I'm on lunch. I put myself in the bathroom and I call her sister. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, I have the ring. I can't wait. If I wait, I am gonna say something. Something's gonna happen. We gotta move it to this weekend.
Okay, fun fact. I told him like
2 days before.
2 days before that, I was like, because we were walking through the grocery store, and I was like, I had a nightmare that you proposed to me in the grocery store, and I threw the ring over the grocery aisle and said, go fetch it and find someone else, and like that's how the dream ended. And so
she thought I wasn't gonna actually,
because he joked about something in like
Walmart,
like proposing in Walmart, and I was like, no. I was like, I will leave right now. I'm like,
yeah, and it was hilarious because a couple nights before she was bringing up, she's like, somebody hasn't asked me yet, you know. I'm sitting there like, girl, if only you knew.
Well, so he spoke to me and let me know he was going to propose.
I talked to Barbie too
a week before, and I was just so on. Like, if you saw me, I was so it was very early, by the way. We met at Starbucks. Yeah. I literally came in my PJs, like,
and then
nothing.
I was dressed up.
The day after. I had to talk to her the day after, and I was about to comment about something. I was like, oh, I can't say this. I was not here. I don't know who I was with. But just seeing the growth in Ethan, like, the guy that I met at Starbucks, so he talked to me wanting to be her boyfriend. And I told him, no, you're not. No.
Yeah.
And, well, I just laid it straight. I was like, this is what I see in you, and he just rose up to the occasion, like you said. Like,
I literally, no joke, that entire day after I talked to her, I went home, and I started reading my Bible, and I'm like, I'm bringing up stuff that she was saying. I'm like, looking for scripture, you know?
I want to go against her. But the thing was that the guy that I met with at Starbucks that one day, that she's like, I want you to meet this guy. I'm like, okay, great. She left, and then we stayed. That boy,
I left for work.
Yeah,
I left for work. I
I
stayed for 30 minutes, and I was like, guys, I have to leave for work. And
yeah,
I'm like,
Barbie's like, I'm ready now.
I'm like, that's great, thank you. Bam. But that boy that I met, and the man that I met up with that told me he was ready to marry my best friend was like night and day. Just completely. I just remember really enjoying your company at the Stonehouse Cafe. Really enjoying, because we were just talking about like sermons you were talking about. You were talking theology. You were talking about words. I'm like, yes, Ethan. This guy is. Oh man, I was just so excited. So, he meets up with her, or meets up with me, and then he gets the next week the ring.
The ring, yeah. And so it was.
And she was sassy. Like, let me tell you, we had conversations. She's like, no one's asked it. I'm like, and I can't say anything either. Everyone's like, we can't say anything, we all know. It's coming. And that week I remember telling her, I was like, just wait.
Yeah,
It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's happening for a reason. Because I know you were going through a bunch of stuff, too.
Yeah, and I had strategically told her, hey, leave this weekend open. And she's sitting there going, oh, excited. And then I brought up, I was like, hey, we're going to go, Haley and Nick said they're going to go snowshoeing, so I think we're going to go snowshoeing with them. And her face, oh my gosh.
Like, we didn't plan anything.
She was so disappointed. I'm like, I just saw, it went from, just like that. I could see it. I was like, oh.
Man.
I'm like, but and finally I told her, I was like, hey, we're moving in a week. We're moving that week up. So the day of, I'm like sitting there, I'm pumped. You know, I'm like, my heart's.
I'm surprised they didn't just ask me like at the moment. I hope it's a door like my house. Like.
Yeah. And the night before I was hanging out with my friends. They saw how jittery I was. They were chilling me out. They're like, Ethan, we got you. Anyway, so we're out. We drive to Spooner Lake, right? We get out there. We get some snowshoes on. We're walking out. Her sister's there with Nick, and her sister's sitting there taking pictures. We're all posing, being all cute and stuff. And finally she's hugging me, and I look over and I'm like, right? and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I got something stuck in my snowshoe. So I take the snowshoe off and I fling it out of the way. And I get down on a knee and I go, will you marry me? Because I had a speech planned out. I had it all planned out. I lost it.
Within 2 seconds.
So and she said the most amazing words that a guy can hear whenever he proposes. What?
What?
I said it like probably 5 or 6 times before I said yes. I was like, what? Huh?
What's happening?
What? Wait, what?